English Flow Podcast with Kay and Leo.
Hey Key, how's it going today?
It's going great, Leo. I'm really excited for today's topic. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic, thanks. And yes, I'm super excited too. Today we're talking all about hobbies. It's something everyone has or should have, and it's a wonderful way to relax and grow.
Absolutely. Hobbies are so important in our daily lives, aren't they? They give us a break from work or school, help us de-stress, and allow us to explore new interests.
Exactly. They add so much color to our routines. And as English learners, talking about your hobbies is a great way to connect with people and practice English naturally. It's a topic that often comes up in casual conversations.
That's a great point. It's a natural conversation starter. And speaking of practice, today we're going to focus on using the present simple tense to describe our habits and routines related to hobbies.
Yes, and we'll also look at how to express our likes and dislikes when talking about different activities. So get ready to learn some useful vocabulary and grammar structures that you can use right away.
We'll share some of our own hobbies, talk about how we started them, and give you some practical phrases to use. So whether you love reading, playing sports, or something totally unique, you'll find something helpful here.
Let's dive in. So, Kay, we've talked about why hobbies are important. Now, I'm curious, what does a typical evening look like for you? And what's your main hobby that fits into that routine?
That's a great question, Leo. Well, my evenings usually start around 6 p.m. after work. I cook dinner, and then I often spend some time reading or just unwinding.
And what about your main hobby? How does that fit in?
My main hobby, the one I truly love, is painting. I usually paint in the evening after dinner. It's how I unwind. I have a little studio space in my apartment, and I just get lost in it.
That sounds wonderful. What kind of things do you like to paint?
I mostly paint landscapes and nature scenes. I love capturing the colors of a sunset or the intricate details of a forest. Sometimes I use photos as references, but often I just paint for my imagination. I find so much beauty in the natural world, and painting allows me to express that.
And how does painting help you relax? Is it just about a creative outlet, or is there something more to it?
It's definitely about the creative outlet, but it's also very meditative for me. When I paint, I forget about everything else. I focus completely on the colors, the brush strokes, and the image taking shape on the canvas. It calms my mind, and it feels like a mini vacation from the everyday hustle. It's very therapeutic.
That sounds incredibly relaxing, Kay. Painting really seems like a perfect way to de-stress. Now, switching gears a bit, I guess it's my turn. You know I love my music, so I play guitar almost every day.
Oh, I know. We hear you practicing sometimes. So almost every day is a good frequency expression. Do you have a specific time you usually play?
Yeah, I usually play in the late afternoon after my main work is done. It helps me transition from work mode to relaxation. Sometimes I just practice scales, and sometimes I try to learn a new song. It's a constant process.
That makes sense. And what about other hobbies? Do you have anything else that fits into your weekly schedule?
Absolutely. Besides guitar, I also enjoy hiking. I go hiking every Sunday morning. It's a routine I've stuck to for years. I usually find a trail not too far from the city, and I spend a few hours out in nature. It helps me reset before the new week.
So, guitar almost every day and hiking every Sunday. That sounds like a great balance of indoor and outdoor activities. How do these hobbies fit into your overall weekly schedule, especially with work?
Well, playing guitar is pretty flexible, so I can usually fit it in for an hour or so whenever I have a break. The hiking is a more structured part of my weekend. I always make sure Sunday morning is free for it. It's a non-negotiable part of my self-care routine, and it really helps me clear my head. That sounds like a wonderful routine, Leo. It's great how you prioritize your hobbies. Speaking of how hobbies start, my passion for painting actually has a pretty clear beginning. It goes way back to my childhood.
Oh, really? I'd love to hear that story, Key. How did you get into painting?
Was it something your family encouraged, or did you just stumble upon it?
It was a bit of both, actually. I remember I was about 7 years old, and my grandmother, who was very artistic, gave me a small watercolor set for my birthday. Before that, I just mostly drew with crayons, but this watercolor set was different. I opened it up, and the colors were so vibrant. The first thing I painted was a very simple tree in our backyard. I didn't know anything about techniques or blending colors. I just painted. And I remember the feeling so clearly. I started painting and I lost track of time completely. My mom called me for dinner and I didn't even hear her. I was just completely absorbed in what I was doing. It was a wonderful, peaceful feeling.
That's beautiful, Key. So it was that immediate, immersive experience that hooked you.
Exactly. It was like finding a secret world. After that first time, I just wanted to paint all the time. My grandmother gave me more art supplies and some basic tips, but mostly I just experimented. I painted everything around me. Flowers, my toys, our cat. Sometimes the paintings weren't very good, but I didn't care. I just loved the process. As I got older, I took some art classes in school, and I learned more techniques. But that initial feeling of losing myself in the colors and the brushstrokes, that never changed. It just grew into the deep love for painting I have today. It became my way to express myself and to find quiet in a busy world.
That's such a lovely story, Kay. It really highlights how a hobby can become a lifelong passion and how you genuinely love painting. And speaking of love, that leads us perfectly into our next topic, how to talk about your likes and dislikes in English.
That's right. It's so important to know these phrases because hobbies are all about what you enjoy. A common mistake I hear is people saying, I like to paint. While that's not strictly incorrect, it's often more natural to use the gerund form when talking about general preferences.
Exactly. So for things you really, really enjoy, you can say, I love or I enjoy. For example, Key, you could say, I love painting landscapes, or I enjoy painting in the evenings. Notice how we use the ing form of the verb after love and enjoy.
Yes, that's key. So it's I love reading books, not I love to read books when you're talking about it as a general hobby. Or I enjoy hiking on weekends, not I enjoy to hike on weekends. It sounds much more natural with the gerund.
And then for things you don't enjoy, you can use I don't like, or for stronger feelings, I hate. For instance, I don't like cooking spicy food, or I hate getting up early on my days off. Again, the pattern is I don't like plus verb ing, or I hate plus verb ing.
Let's practice a few. Leo, what's something you don't like doing in your free time?
Well, I love playing guitar, but I really don't like practicing scales. It's necessary, but it's not fun for me. And I definitely hate cleaning the house. I mean, who enjoys cleaning?
I know what you mean about cleaning, but I do enjoy organizing things. It's a bit different from cleaning, I think. So remember, listeners, it's I love, I enjoy, I don't like, and I hate, followed by the verb in its ing form, the gerund.
I enjoy listening to music. Not just like music, if you're specifying the action. Or I love playing video games. It makes your English sound much more fluent and authentic.
So to recap, when you're talking about hobbies and what you generally like or dislike doing, use the structure subject plus like, love, enjoy, don't like, hate, plus verb ing. It's a simple rule, but very important for sounding like a native speaker.
That's a fantastic point, Leo. Understanding how to talk about what we like and dislike is essential. And thinking about what we loved doing, it makes me wonder, what about the hobbies we had when we were kids? Did your interests change a lot over time?
Absolutely. They changed so much. When I was a kid, my main hobby, almost my only hobby, was playing football. I remember I played football every single day. After school, on weekends, any chance I got, I was out on the field with my friends. We would play for hours until it was dark.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I can totally imagine you as a super energetic kid on the football field. For me, it was quite different. I wasn't really into sports as a child. Instead, I loved drawing. I drew everywhere, on paper, sometimes even on the walls if my parents weren't looking. I also took dance classes for a few years.
So you were quite the artist even then, Key. That's interesting how your passion for art developed. And what about dancing? Do you still dance now, or did that hobby fade away?
No, not really. I don't dance much now except maybe at parties. My interests definitely shifted. While I still love drawing and painting is my main hobby, dancing was something I enjoyed in elementary school, but I stopped when I got older. My focus really moved to visual arts. How about football for you? Do you still play?
Not at all. I haven't played football regularly in years. As a kid, I played football every single day. Now I prefer solo hobbies like playing guitar or hiking. It's funny how, as we grow up, our interests can really evolve. I still enjoy watching football, but actively playing it, not so much anymore.
It's true. It's like our priorities and what helps us relax or feel fulfilled changes. When I was a child, drawing was just a fun activity. Now, painting is a significant part of my life, and it helps me unwind. The core interest in creativity remained, but the specific hobby and its role in my life transformed.
Exactly. It's fascinating to look back and see how our hobbies changed with time. I went from team sports to more solitary activities. But both past and present hobbies bring joy, just in different ways.
Exactly. It's fascinating to look back and see how our hobbies changed with time. I went from team sports to more solitary activities. But both past and present hobbies bring joy, just in different ways. And speaking of new ways to bring joy, have you been exploring any new hobbies recently, Leo? As adults, it's easy to stick to what we know.
That's a great question, Key. It's true. Sometimes we get comfortable. But yes, I've actually been exploring photography quite a bit lately. I've recently started taking my camera with me on my hikes. It's a new way to appreciate nature, and I'm learning a lot about composition and light. It's still very new, but I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Photography sounds like a perfect complement to hiking. What kind of things do you like to photograph most? And have you always been interested in it, or is this a completely new venture?
Well, I've always admired good photographers, but I've never actually tried to take them myself until recently. I've been focusing on landscapes and wildlife mostly, because that's what I encounter when I'm out in nature. I'm definitely a beginner, but I've already learned so much just by experimenting.
That's fantastic, Leo. It's inspiring to hear you trying something new. For me, I've recently started cooking Thai food. It's been a really fun and delicious experience. I've always enjoyed eating Thai food, but I've never tried to make it myself until a few months ago.
Wow, Thai food. That sounds challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. What have you found most surprising about learning to cook a new cuisine? Have you had any successes or funny failures?
Definitely. Successes and a few minor disasters. I've learned that balancing the sweet, sour, salty, and spicy elements is key. I've made some really tasty curries and pad thai. It's different from painting, but it also feels very creative in its own way. And I've discovered a lot of new ingredients.
That's so cool, Key. It's amazing how trying something new can open up a whole different world. It just goes to show that it's never too late to pick up a new skill or find a new passion, even as an adult.
Absolutely. It keeps life interesting and gives us new ways to express ourselves or just unwind. I think it's important for everyone to consider trying something they've always wanted to do, even if it feels a bit intimidating at first. What's the worst that can happen? You learn something and maybe find a new favorite hobby.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. Just trying out a class or watching some online tutorials can be a great first step. I've found that even if I don't become an expert photographer, the process of learning and exploring is rewarding enough.
I completely agree. And using the present perfect, we can talk about these new experiences. Like, I've recently started or I've learned to are perfect phrases for sharing these adult hobby adventures.
Building on what we've been talking about, trying new hobbies is a great way to grow. And now let's dive into some real English expressions that native speakers use when they talk about their hobbies. These phrases will make you sound much more natural and fluent.
That's right. Instead of just saying, I like painting, you can use some more dynamic expressions. The first one we want to share is, I'm really into.
Yes, I'm really into is fantastic. It means you're very interested in something or that you spend a lot of time doing it. For example, I could say, I'm really into playing guitar these days. It sounds much more enthusiastic than just, I like playing guitar.
Exactly. Or for me, I'm really into painting landscapes. It shows a deeper level of enjoyment. Another useful phrase is, it helps me unwind. We actually used this earlier when I talked about painting.
That's true. Unwind means to relax after a period of work or tension. So if your hobby helps you de-stress, this is the perfect phrase. For example, playing guitar really helps me unwind after a long day at work.
And for me, painting helps me unwind and forget about daily stresses. It's a very common and natural way to describe the relaxing benefit of a hobby.
The next expression is one of my favorites. I lose track of time when This means you become so engrossed in an activity that you don't notice how much time has passed.
Oh, I definitely relate to that. When I'm painting, I completely lose track of time. 1 minute it's 7 p.m. and the next it's midnight. It's like the hours just disappear.
Right? When I play guitar, I completely lose track of time. It's like therapy. It's a great way to show how much you enjoy something. And finally, we have, it's something I do for myself.
This phrase emphasizes that the hobby is personal and fulfilling, not something you do for others or for work. It's about self-care and personal enjoyment.
For example, hiking is something I do for myself. It's my time to reconnect with nature and clear my head. It highlights the personal benefit and importance of the hobby.
And painting is definitely something I do for myself. It's a personal passion that brings me a lot of joy. So instead of just, I like painting, try, painting is something I do for myself, and I often lose track of time when I'm doing it. It makes your English sound so much richer.
Absolutely. Incorporating these phrases will make your conversations about hobbies much more engaging and authentic. Practice using them in sentences about your own hobbies. Okay, Key, we've talked a lot about our hobbies, but now let's do some rapid-fire questions to add some fun. Ready?
I'm ready, Leo. Bring it on.
What's a hobby you want to try next?
Oh, definitely pottery. I want to make my own cups.
Nice. Pottery's fun. Okay, next. Indoors or outdoors?
Indoor, with snacks and music.
Outdoor. I need fresh air. All right, creative or physical?
Creative, always.
Physical for me most of the time. Last one. Morning or evening hobbies?
Evening, after everything else is done.
Morning for sure. Get it done early. That was fun. We got through those quickly. Wow, that was a great rapid fire round, Key. And what a fun conversation we've had today, all about hobbies.
It really was, Leo. We covered so much, from why hobbies are important for well-being to how to talk about them using the present simple tense.
Exactly. We shared your passion for painting and how it helps you unwind, and my love for playing guitar and hiking, fitting them into our routines.
And we learned about our childhood hobbies, how they change over time, and even the joy of trying new things as adults, like your photography and my recent cooking adventures.
Plus, we gave everyone some super useful expressions for talking about what they like and dislike, remembering to use the ing form after like, love, enjoy, and hate. It's I like painting, not I like to paint.
That's right. And we shared some fantastic natural English phrases like, I'm really into when you're enthusiastic about something, or it helps me unwind, to describe how an activity helps you relax.
Yes, and I lose track of time when I for when you're so absorbed in a hobby that hours fly by. And a really personal one, it's something I do for myself. That's so true for many hobbies, isn't it? They're for our own well-being.
Absolutely. Hobbies aren't just about passing the time, they're about growth, relaxation, and connecting with what you enjoy. They truly add richness to our daily lives and provide an excellent way to practice English.
Which brings us to our listener challenge for today. We want you to put what you've learned into practice.
Your challenge is to write or record 5 sentences about your own hobbies. Make sure to use at least a few of the expressions we talked about today.
You can tell us what you're really into, how a particular hobby helps you unwind, or when you completely lose track of time doing something you love.
Don't forget to use the present simple to describe your regular habits and the correct structure for likes and dislikes. For example, I really enjoy reading in the evenings, or it helps me relax after a long day.
We'd love for you to share your sentences in the comments section wherever you're listening to this podcast. It's a fantastic way to practice your English and get feedback.
Or, if you're feeling brave, record yourself speaking those sentences and share it with a language exchange partner or a friend. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become.
And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe or follow our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes where we break down more useful English topics for you.
Your support really helps us continue creating content like this. And remember, exploring hobbies is a wonderful journey, both in life and in language learning.
So, tell us what you love doing in your free time. We want to hear your English.
Until next time, keep practicing your English and keep enjoying your hobbies. Bye for now.
See you next time.